ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम नमो नारायणाय। 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 ओम ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ओम नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम, a warm welcome for today's session. ओम शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ओम शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 31 ओम अमृतांशुद्भवो भानुशशबिन्दुः सुरेश्वरः औषधं जगतः सेतुः सत्यधर्मपराक्रमः भूतभव्यभवन्नाथः पवनः पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामप्रदः प्रभुः युगादिकृद्युगावर्ती दत्तो नैकमायो महाशनः अदृश्यो व्यक्तरूपश्च सहस्रजिदनन्तजित् इष्टो विशिष्टशिष्टेष्टशिखण्डी नहुषो वृषः क्रोधः क्रोधकृत्कर्ता विश्वबाहुर्महीधरः. We were discussing this shloka and we had come up to Nahushaha. Yesterday we said Nahusha means the one who is bringing the whole world together in the sense of bondage. As a bandhana, he is called as Nahushaha. How? Mayaya. Through his Maya, he brings the whole universe into a beautiful bondage. Now, this has to be rightly understood. When we say bondage, there are 3 levels of bondages to this. First bondage is having one-to-one relationship where there is lot of attachment and therefore there is lot of sorrow, pain, suffering, and all the Shadvairinaha very consciously gets applied into that. The second kind of bondage is where there is a beautiful relationship, yet it does not create what is called as attachment. There is a bondage of love in a manner of saying. We may not actually should not call as bondage, but in a manner of saying we may say so. There is a beautiful relationship between the two where there is lot of love and affection, but at the same time it is not that attachment which brings in lot of pain and suffering along. Like for example, a small child which came from along with one of the visitor. We express lot of love to the child. We take the child, we play with the child, etc. We may even hug the child, we may kiss the child, we may put the child up and catch. So much of entertainment we have. But when the child goes, we say tata and send the child with the same love and affection. Where there is no detachment involved, where there is no pain or suffering involved out of separation. In very many cases, the first kind of bondage is only with the near and dear ones. And the second kind of bondage is also there with near and dear ones, but it is extended a little with others also. Maybe a bondage with our nation, a sense of patriotism. All these are also bondage. There is a bondage as at large at humanity, with all the humanity, and there are some people who have lot of bondage with even the pets. And even there you have 2 types of bondage. One bondage is a pet where you become so attached, more attached than your own wife or children or mother or father. And when the pet, there are people, when the pet dies for months together, they are disturbed. And some people go to the extent of taking drugs also. Think. So those are all, that bondage is not appreciated. That bondage has to be definitely condemned. That either with the pets or with people, it has to be condemned. And the second variety, as I said, is extended at large, but there is no bondage. There is lot of appreciation. There is lot of love. There is sense of belonging. Sense of belonging need not be attachment. I belong to my country. Definitely there is what kind of attachment we have as my country. There is love, there is belonging, there is sense of commitment, there is sense of patriotism. All those are there. But it's a second kind of bondage. We also have bondage with relationships where attachment is not there. The third kind of bondage is what the Sanatana Dharma expresses, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where the whole universe is included. And then coming to this particular aspect, bondage with a different sense of the word. which cannot be actually called as bondage, but in a manner of saying. What is that bondage here? In fact, you cannot call bondage because it is a sense of me, myself. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma, tad Brahma aham asmi. This is the fourth kind, where actually speaking there is no bondage, there is a sense of oneness. Bhagavan Vishnu brings in all the kinds of bondages. He gives you all the kinds of bondages. Along with that, he has given us what? A buddhi. What is this buddhi meant for? To discriminate rightly and use that very bondage for our inner development, inner growth, and reach him. He has given us the choice also. What? Get into the physical bondage and suffer, not using your intelligence. Or use the intelligence and gain the bondage, which will help us grow and which will help others also grow in the process. Therefore, he is called Nahushaha. The next nama is Vrishaha. Vrishaha we have already seen earlier. Kamanam Varshanat Vrishaha. And then he also adds one word, Dharmaha. Along with dharma in place, whatever we desire, Bhagavan blesses us. All our legitimate desires, Bhagavan definitely will bless, and with a note, we may say with a tag. What? Use it, but don't get attached. With that sense, he definitely showers us with all our blessings. Now think. The very fact that we are born as human beings, which is the only species who can gain this knowledge, itself is a blessing of Bhagavan. And also a fact that we have been given such great lineage of teachers, the great Rishi culture, and until now, Sadashiva Samarambham Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam, when we chant every day, what does that mean? We have been blessed with Mahapurushas. Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshayaha. Mumukshutvam is also a desire to know my true nature. The very fact you are listening to the class itself shows that you are interested in learning. What is a depth of interest that each one should think for themselves? But there is an interest, otherwise you will not be listening to the class. Is it not? Therefore, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshayaha, all these three, though it is Durlabham, we are all blessed. Think. Therefore, Kamanam Varshanat, he has already blessed us enough and more to have come to this path. Think. Think of those people who do not know what is Sanatana Dharma, what is Vedanta, what is Brahman, what is my true nature, what is the purpose of human life. They are all living like what? Like any other animals. Therefore, what we need to do is understand, accept. What is it that I have to accept? I have to accept that I am already blessed, and I have to accept how I am supposed to move forward. I have to understand how to move forward and then move forward. Therefore, Varshaha. Varshaha, blessed. Krodhaha, the 314th nama. One is Krodhaha. Just as we learned earlier, Kamaha. Here it is Krodhaha, and then it gives another thought. Kamakrit, that means is he going to create anger? Yes, he is going to create anger. But we will understand in its own perspective. Kama and Krodha are two very most important emotions in a human being. Kamaha is born out of desire. And when that desire is not fulfilled, what happens is the same desire fructifies into Krodha. And Bhagavan is one who is the killer of anger, who kills, who removes. Krodham hanti iti krodhaha, the one who destroys anger. This is very clearly explained. But how are we going to understand this? Why we have to understand this? Because everywhere we see people are getting angry for anything. Just at the drop of the hat, people become angry. For no reason, people become angry. Isn't it? Most of us are what? Short-tempered. What is short temper? Short temper is becoming angry for small reasons. And very many times, anger removes the beautiful bondage what we had with others, and it distances ourselves from very near and dear people. And anger can definitely destroy so many things in life. Therefore, anger has to be handled. Why does the anger come first of all? Anger comes only when I insist on certain thing the way I want it to be. Be it thing, be it people, be it situation, be it conditions around. I have fixed a particular condition. I get conditioned by that particular condition, and when the condition is not fulfilled, then the mind gets agitated. This agitation expresses itself as anger. Think. This is the basic mechanism of anger. And more often than not, we use the anger to either oppress the other person or just get the work done. I shout, I scream. Param Pujya Gurudev says, expression of anger is when you punish yourself for no fault of yours. When I am angry, I am disturbed. I am agitated. And my intelligence gets covered. By what? By anger. And for whose fault? Not my fault, somebody else's fault. So for somebody else's fault, I lose my temper, I lose my quietude, I lose my patience, I lose my peace, I lose my harmony, and I lose myself, frankly speaking, for no fault of mine. But then the question will come, Swamiji, very many times, if we don't show the anger, then work does not happen. You are right. When we don't show the anger, work does not happen. When we show the anger, work happens. Therefore, only show anger, don't become angry. They are two different things. Showing anger is for the just sake of getting the work done, for the sake of expressing my unpleasantness, expressing my non-cooperation. Sometimes anger is to be shown. Param Pujya Gurudev very beautifully says, use anger, don't become angry. How do I use anger? I use anger like a pen. Cap the pen and keep it in the pocket. Let the anger be with you. Whenever it is required, remove the pen, uncap the pen, use the pen, recap it and put it back. When it is put back, it does not disturb anybody. Similarly, use anger. For what? To express certain thing. But don't become angry. When I become angry, the other person will not be affected. I alone am affected. How am I affected? I have disturbed myself. My thought pattern changes. My harmony, my peace, my quietude. Everything is disturbed. And sometimes it takes many hours to come back to senses. And in some cases, we lose very good relationship. Think. And anger can spoil the harmony of the whole people around me. And not only that, another result of anger is it will bring wrong ideas about me in all other people. Therefore, anger has to be controlled, rather mastered. This mastery over anger is a beautiful art. We have seen it in Param Pujya Gurudev when we were with him all the time. He would turn this side and scream and shout at somebody as though that person will become bhasma. The next moment, he will turn on the other side, he is totally a different person. Meaning what? That anger which he expressed with so much of vehemence, within a fraction of a second, completely overturns. And here you find he picks up a small child in the crowd and then he plays with the child. He makes, Gurudev used to make very interesting faces. It brings so much of joy, It would bring so much of love. Within fraction of a second. That was his ability in handling anger. Now think about ourselves. How much are we able to handle ourselves? How much are we able to handle our anger? Think. Frankly speaking, our anger is not at all handled properly. Think. And therefore, it brings lot of disturbance, lot of distancing between our own near and dear ones. Think. Now, here when Bhagavan is called as Krodhaha, the question comes, when I am angry, why is he not killing my anger? No. He knows to whom he has to apply this ability and not to whom. Whom not. Then, whether the other person deserves or does not deserve. When our anger is filled with kama, then he will not do anything because that kama is the cause of the anger and that anger will destroy our inner quietude. He allows that to happen. When it comes to sadhu purusha, when such anger tries to erupt because of some reason, whatever reason may be, if it tries to come up, then he says, no. He is a Santa Purusha. He is a Sadhu Purusha. In him, anger can become very disastrous. Because Santa Sadhu Purusha's anger is not for personal enmity, is for Loka Sangrahartham. Think. Therefore, to such people, when the thought of anger arises itself, Bhagavan turns the attention and sees to it that there is no more anger expressed. He kills the anger. When our mind is sattvic, when our mind is filled with devotion towards him, he takes care of that mind. Our mind is not fully devotion oriented towards him. We have love for him. In fact, our love towards Bhagavan is more of personal, this one only, what do you call? Asking him, begging for benefits, utility oriented bhakti. But true bhakti, when it is there, Bhagavan takes care of that mind. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham, when it is said, yoga kshema of not only the physical body, yoga kshema of the mind also. Yoga kshema of the buddhi also. So here when it is said krodhaha, it is like kamaha. In sadhunam, when kama comes, he destroys that kama. When krodha comes, he destroys that krodha and he retains that quietude in them. That is the glory of devotion. That is the glory of bhakti. Bhakti is that which can take anything. Bhagavan, all he asks is only bhakti. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Whatever you give with bhakti. And when you give with bhakti, I will take care of you. Name bhaktah pranashyati. Krodhaha. Krodhakrit Karta. Another very interesting contradictive nama. Krodhakrit and Karta. It can be taken as two different words and it can also be taken as one compound. How is that? Krodhakrit here refers to that anger which is brought in for the sake of facing the challenge, facing the enemy, and by facing the enemy and destruction of the enemy, it is Loka Kalyanartham. Like for example, you call it Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra Ji, Saumya Purushaha. At the same time, when he takes the arrow, no power on earth can stop him. And when will he take the arrow? Not like how for every tom, dick, for every drop of the hat we become angry and shout. He will not do that. Only when it goes beyond the limit of acceptance, then he lifts the arrow. We have seen so many in the Katha, Rama and Katha, we have seen so many instances. When Sugriva forgets Rama and he is indulged in entertainment after killing Vali, immediately he takes the bow and he doesn't attach an arrow to it. Just he makes the sound of the string to inform Sugriva. Think. That was sufficient. A good mind will get the hint very easily. Immediately he came, he surrendered, he apologized, and then we know what happened. Krodhakrit, he will, and in Santapurushas also, he will bring in Krodha, the thoughts of Krodha, for what? For getting some work done. For the sake of the world. Loka Kalyanartham. Therefore, he is capable of bringing anger into it. He becomes a cause for that anger. And therefore, because he is the cause for that anger, he is also called Krodhakrit and Karta. Karta here meaning what? One, he is the person who brings in action subsequent to the Krodha. Therefore, Krodhakrit Karta. Krodham Karoti. Krodhakrit. Krodham Karoti meaning what? He injects Krodha. Purposely, deliberately. But once that particular mission is fulfilled, you will find that calmness. You will find that beauty. You will find that harmony in that person. So wonderfully, Krodha cannot affect that person internally. That is the glory of Krodhakrit Karta. Vishwabahuhu. Vishwabahu means hand. Vishwabahu, the one who extends his hands to the whole world. Embracing the whole world. All types of creatures, the whole universe. Who has created? He only has created the whole universe. And he embraces the whole universe. Therefore, we like how in Purusha Suktam we say Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasrakshaha, Sahasrapat. You may also say Vishwabahu, which is also Sahasra means what? Sahasra means asankyartham. It is beyond number, countless. Similarly, Vishwabahu, when it is said, he extends his hand. Vishvesham alambanattvena vishve bahavaha asyaiti va Vishwabahu. He completely extends everywhere. You know, how do we come to understand that Bhagavan has extended his hands? Very beautiful examples are when the mother holds the baby. Just as the mother holds the baby, mother has extended her arms and the baby very happily sleeps in the arms of the mother. That mother's hands are nothing but Bhagavan's hands. A doctor holds the baby. Doctor is not mother. But still, as a doctor, when she holds the baby, it is Bhagavan who is holding the baby as the hands of the doctor. Similarly, when there is another younger boy or a girl who you hold them and then appreciate them, pat them, it is all Bhagavan. Only we think that we are patting, we are appreciating, etc., etc. But all hands are nothing but Bhagavan's. But we have to be very careful here. What is that carefulness required? Wherever there is positivity, wherever there is love, wherever there is care, whomever we embrace with lot of pure love and affection, it is all Bhagavan's hands. And wherever there is karma of the different order, where it is base, lower, cheap, all those are ahankara hasta only. It cannot be called as Bhagavan's hasta. But wherever there is positivity, it is nothing but the hands of Bhagavan who is embracing all of us, whether we like it or not, want it or not. In our embrace to the other beings of the world, our embrace is contaminated with kama krodhadi shatvairinaha. Whereas Bhagavan embraces everybody with only one thought: they are my children. And then he embraces everybody and helps us grow within. Through his love and affection, he helps us grow within. Therefore, Vishwe Bahavahasya itiva Vishwabahuhu. Alambatvena, as a support. The next one is with love. The other one is he extends his hands to support the whole universe. And after all, it is only who can do that. It is only he who can do that. How much can you and I do? We can't support our own family properly. What to leave alone the Vishwa? Is it not? We can't. There are so horrible people who can't support their own parents. They go and take them and leave them in Anathashrama, in Vruddhashrama, and because they cannot take that. Think. How much of wrong things happen in the world outside. The elders are just given away, thrown away in a manner of saying, or left behind. For what? For their own future, for their own personal gains. People just leave and go. Think. Who supports them? It can only be Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan alone supports everything. Don't what will happen to me? I thought it is my son will take care of me in my elder days. Please note, all those doesn't happen. Even in case your son is sitting in front of you, there is no guarantee that he will take care of you. Think. Therefore, the one Palaka is Bhagavan. And when he takes care, you don't require any other people to take care. And when he doesn't take care, which will never happen, when he doesn't take care, nobody can take care. Therefore, Vishwabahuhu, the one who extends his hands and supports everything. Mahidharaha. Dharaha means, again, a similar name with a similar meaning. Dharaha is to support, to handle. Mahidharaha, Mahi means earth. The earth is called Mahi and sustaining countless number of beings, so many species. Think, who else can do? Bhagavan alone, therefore, the sustainer of all beings on this earth, he is called as Mahidharaha, the one who is the only abode for the entire universe. Continuing, Achyutah Prathitah प्राणः प्राणदो वासवानुजः अपां निधिरधिष्ठानमप्रमत्तः प्रतिष्ठितः अच्युतः प्रथितः प्राणः प्राणदो वासवानुजः अपां निधिरधिष्ठानमप्रमत्तः प्रतिष्ठितः. Just now we saw Bhagavan supports the entire universe. Bhagavan embraces the whole universe. Bhagavan takes care of every single person, every single Jiva Rashi, from the unicellular organism to the multi-complex human being. It is He who is taking care. It is His arm which supports all of us, not only as a baby, but until we drop. We said. Then the question comes, Swamiji, if He has to take care of the whole entire universe, all about everybody, then will He not get so distracted and disturbed? How many people can He take care? Where all can He go? That is why it is said Sahasrabahu. Why Sahasrabahu? He, as though we have seen in Krishna Avatara, so many gopikas were there. And everybody want Krishna. And one Krishna, what can he do? Therefore, he, in our modern language, cloned, as though. He multiplied himself. And each gopika thought, Bhagavan is with her, Bhagavan is hers. And they were reveling, being with Krishna without thinking about others. Why? When Krishna is there, why to think of others? So each one of them were playing with Krishna independently. Krishna is one, but he appears differently, as though. Now look at this. The first nama in these 9 namas of the shloka, Achyutaha. What a beautiful name. Shadbhava vikara shunyatvat na chutihi. Chuti is a very beautiful word. It has got 2 meanings. One is, it has no change involved. Na chuti means what? He does not change. 2. Vikara rahitatvat. Shadbhava vikarahita. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinapate, apakshiyate, nashya iti. Shad vikarani na asti. He at his position, he at his stature has no changes involved. This we have seen in several namas, we have seen this already. And 2, he does not give up his stature at any given period of time. Being involved as though, again we have to add that word as though. Why as though? Because from our standpoint, Bhagavan is coming down to the earth and helping everybody and taking care of everybody. Therefore, avatarati iti avataraha, we say. But what is the true nature of Bhagavan? Nachutihi, does not leave his swaswarupa. While he is coming and working with the world outside, while he is helping everybody, while he is embracing the world, yet he never steps down from his Nijaswarupa. What is his Nijaswarupa? Nijaswarupa is changelessness. Vikara rahitatvat. Therefore he is called Achyutaha, in whom there is no vikara, and the one who never steps down to get into vikaratvam. Therefore, Achyutaha. Prathitaha. What is Prathitaha? Prathitaha, Acharya says, Jagat Utpatyadi Karma Bihi Prakhyataha Prathitaha. Prakhyataha meaning what? The one who is absolutely renowned, who is very, very famous, who is well known. Well known for what? Jagat Utpatyadi Karma Bihi. In case of creation of this whole universe. Now one may say, what Swamiji has created, morning to night I have so much of problems. Everybody is a problem. Everybody is a situation. Everything is a situation. Everywhere there is pain and suffering. Everywhere. There are two types of people. Dronacharya sent Arjuna and Duryodhana, or Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. He said, go and see the world and come. Duryodhana came up and said, the whole world is such a painful place. There's only suffering. He came. There's no, here there's none, only complaints after complaints. Arjuna came, Yudhishthira came. Everything is fine. True. Everything has to be fine. Why? It is a creation of Bhagavan, and Bhagavan cannot make a mistake. If there are wrong things happening, it is a beautiful happening for us to understand that it is wrong. If somebody is making mistakes, it is for me to understand that he is making a mistake, and that mistake I should not do, and focus on me not doing that mistake. Think. Everything. If there is a drought there is a purpose. If there is floods here, there is purpose. If there is corona, there is purpose. And now Omicron, there is a purpose. What is the purpose? Beware. Withhold yourself. Be disciplined. Think. If we can understand this, we can see that glory of Bhagavan in every single creation. Therefore, he is Prathitaha. Prathitaha, another meaning is, he is normal. As usual, we all know, he is the most famous of all. He is the one known by everybody. Everybody knows him, and yet, most of us don't know him. We know him that he is one Bhagavan, but we actually don't have the knowledge of Bhagavan. That is why Gurudev would say, N-O, no God. N-O, no peace. No God, no peace. Then the next line, K-N-O-W, God. K-N-O-W, peace. No God, no peace. Both sounds the same. No God, no peace. No God, no peace. This is the glory of Bhagavan. And look at everything. Jagat utpatyadi karma bihi. Every beautiful thing in this world is the creation of Bhagavan. Look at one beautiful leaf. Look at the colors and combinations in flowers. In fact, earlier where I was working, we had 62 varieties of hibiscus. I have got a very, I am very, what do you call? I love this hibiscus flowers. So I am very fond of them. So lot of varieties I would bring. Even here also in our ashram we have lot of hibiscus flowers. Every flower. Now you look at two flowers from the same plant. So identical. No engineer has created that. Think. No zoological PhD or maybe double PhD could create that kind of a flower. Look at the combinations of flowers. And the varieties of flowers, innumerable. Think. There are so many flower gardens. If you go into that flower gardens, you'll find that one thing is sufficient to understand the glory of Bhagavan. What to talk of everything. In fact, if you say, no, I have created all these things, your creation is only because of the backup provided by Bhagavan. Think. The very intelligence is nothing but Bhagavan. Jagat utpatyadi karma bihi. Leave alone our creation. Minus our creation, look at that world. In fact, when compared to the creation of this world, what is our creation? Nothing. Even a fractionist fraction of a speck in the world is also too much if what we have created, for what we have created. Think. Nothing. We are incapable actually individually. Without Bhagavan's support, we can't do anything. This we know. That's the best part of it. This we know. But our ahankara is so much that it thinks that I know everything, I do myself, I can do this, I can do that. Ahankara vimudhatma karta ahamiti manyate. Because everything is nothing but Bhagavan. Therefore, prathitaha, he is renowned. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.